Yes, good evening and good afternoon, everyone. So we'll get started with the webinar, and I just want to quickly introduce myself. I am Rohit Maurya. I'm the Director Sales at Enact for the design applications and tools. I've been with Enact since the early days, about 10 years of experience in solar. And yeah, so that's me. And then with me, I have quickly introducing our panelists as well today. So Mr. Rizwan joining from Sharaf DG, and yeah, we'll hear more from Rizwan in the webinar and once we get started. We also have Manasij, co-founder and ACT, joining in. Navar from the business development team, Sharaf DG, and Brian, who heads sales in South Africa. So welcome to all the panelists and all the attendees. So we'll just get started now. Um, so this is the agenda that we have for today's webinar, and the topic is to accelerate solar projects with smarter tools of design and engineering. Right. So I'll quickly get started since we're already 3 minutes into the webinar. I'll give you a quick introduction about Enact and what we do. So Enact is mainly focused with a vision, to streamline the experience of purchase and ownership for the end customers. So the journey starts with systems being designed, generating techno-commercial proposals which are accurate in terms of the energy benefits, in terms of the financial savings, and then eventually, those projects are installed, and you will see, how we also, engage with monitoring those assets eventually, right? So that is what Enact is focused with the vision. Uh, Now, we have three segments within Enact. So what you're seeing on the screen are basically first is design and the proposal stage, which we call as the pre-sales segment. And the tools here basically help you with generating your layouts, your designs. We are already integrated with utility providers and rates in different regions. So you get to model the consumption profile of any property, residential or commercial and utility scale as well. And then, you do your designing, your shading reports, and you basically generate a techno-commercial proposal, including all the financial benefits for the project. And we do this through the Enact Design App and Design App Plus. So Plus only refers to the utility scale projects, but that's all part of the design platform. The second segment is more aligned to post-sales engineering work. And the application here is PVCAD, which is basically a plugin that comes with AutoCAD. And this helps in creating very detailed electrical and mechanical engineering designs for residential systems, commercial CNI, and utility scale. So any scale of design and project can be very easily and very accurately done through PVCAD. So we'll see some glimpses of both the applications today. And then finally, this last segment is the fleet monitoring and maintenance. And this is where, all the assets that you would have installed or you're going to install, we connect with, various different inverters across the globe. And all the assets, you can have fleet view in terms of how they are actually performing after the installation has been completed. So what you get to look at through these fleet monitoring and maintenance dashboards is what was proposed at the time of at the time of proposals or engineering and what was actually being delivered on site. So you get to look at various different graphs, which gives you a sense of how the energy is generating eventually, and what are the benefits in terms of the cost benefits that are being derived for the end customer. There are, of course, alerts and different reports that can be published out of the dashboards, but that is all part of the fleet monitoring segment. Moving over, like I mentioned, the pre-sales tool tracks the financial projections as well. So right from the stage where you're modeling the utility consumption for any property, you also model what they are currently spending towards their electricity bills, and you get to look at what is the as-is situation for any property, residential or CNI. And then after you've installed solar, how are they going to derive financial benefits out of the solar project? So this does not include just solar. It will also include solar plus storage, depending on different projects in different parts of the world. You can always model battery systems into the solar system that you're putting together, right? And then eventually you can track the financial outcomes, like I mentioned, through the asset application, which basically tracks, what is it actually being derived for the end customer at the end of, installation. So that is, a quick overview of our, customers across the globe. And one of our, very strong partners and customers is here with us on the call. So we'll get to hear more about Sharaf DG. And maybe at this point, I'll quickly pass the ball over to Rizwan. Hi, Rizwan. Maybe, yeah, I mean, you can, you
Hi.
can you start, yeah.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Mohammad Rizwan Khan. I represent a company called Sharaf DG Energy. It is a UAE-based local company. We are a part of Sharaf DG Group. It is one of the largest electronics retailer in Dubai. We hold almost 32% market share in terms of electronics retail. The parent company falls is Sharaf Group, which is established in 1976, and overall we have like 50 years of UAE presence, and across 47 countries across the globe, we have our different verticals operational. This particular vertical, Sharaf DG Energy, established in 2015, almost 11 years from now. The initial estimates we started working for this energy saving projects. We started doing the energy saving projects with LED retrofits in 2018. We started our solar operations, and in Dubai, like it is requirement that you should have a Shams approved solar contractor license. And so in 2018, we become a Shams solar approved solar contractor, and that's how we started. And we are one of the most successful solar companies based in Dubai. I would say in total, Dubai has installed approximately 500 megawatts in rooftop and car park, and we have overall capacity of around 90 megawatts, which includes constructed and under construction projects. So I would say 18% of the total capacity installed on grid in Dubai is done by us. We are having another segment called residential solar segment, and we are one of the most successful residential solar segment solar contractor for residential solar clients. And overall, we have done 1,300 villas across various communities and facilities in the Emirates of Dubai. Additionally, we are very strongly present in ESCO market, which is energy service company market. We are one of the most successful ESCOs in terms of the retrofitting, doing the major retrofit projects of Dubai. We have done Dubai Airport Phase 1 lighting retrofit project, and the Maktoum Airport, which is at a new airport under construction, also done by us. Overall, we have done approximately 500,000 plus light fittings retrofits, which resulted in approximate savings of 39 million dirhams per annum, guaranteed saving to our clients. We have been using Enact for almost, I would say, almost 9 years now, and we are quite satisfied with the way it is being given us and the way it is adopt to the new technologies, the new requirements from the market. And our whole team's like quite heavily dependent in terms of proposals, estimates, and the submissions to the client. So this is all from our side. Any questions if you have, I can answer it.
Sure, Rizwan. So yes, we do have a segment for Q&A. So we'll get some questions and we'll answer them. In the segment. But thanks a lot, Rizwan and Nawar for joining us today. We'll hear more from Nawar in the later part of the webinar. But really, thank you for your time today. All
Thank
right.
you.
So Right. So let's maybe now move over to seeing the application itself live. I'll just quickly share my screen, stopping my video to save some bandwidth here. Uh, right. So this is basically the pre-sales side of the platform, and I'm going to show maybe very briefly a project that is done here. So yeah, you basically, log in. It's an online platform. You can log in through your credentials. You can create a project using the Google lat long coordinates, or you can also draw, scale and draw on images as well. So, if you don't have the site already, you can also draw it on images. Now, when you create a project, you can very accurately model the utility consumption, the electricity bills, and whatever the property is consuming in terms of number of units or the amount that is being spent, by the property. And I'm taking an example of a sample project in Abu Dhabi. So that way you can model that. You can also upload an interval data file, especially for the CNI projects when you want to accurately model the load profiles. You have options of uploading a 15-minute or a half-hourly interval files as well into the system. And then you start designing the system, and this is where when you start designing the design tool kicks in. And this is where you create multiple different layouts. All the drawing elements are on the left. So you basically trace out different roofs. You can do multiple roofs in the same layout. You can put in obstacles, which could be circular, rectangular, or different types of walkways or trees around the roof can be very easily drawn in the system. And a lot of parts of the world, including Middle East and South Africa, all the height and tilt details are auto-detected by the platform. So that way you'll be able to get the 3D models created accurately and quite fast. You can model, like I said, the tilted roofs or flat roofs, and I'm taking an example of a flat roof. I've created clusters of a 2 by 2, panels here, facing to the south direction. You can change the azimuth. You can change the number of rows and columns. All the hardware that you want to use in the platform, be it modules, inverters, and batteries, can very easily be customized in the settings. You can add your batteries, you can add storage devices, and when you do the layouts, you then can run the shading analysis, and this is where the system would pick all the obstacles on the roof and around the roof. If there are any neighboring buildings or if there is any trees around the roof, you would see a heat map like this. And when you hover your mouse, you will see the irradiance data on the right side. So the system calculates the shading losses for the overall project in terms of different groups of panels that you've created. And each group of panel would have its own different losses. You would also see the solar access value, which is 94% in this case. And you can, of course, change that. Let's say you're not happy with 94 and you need 95 or more than that. The system identifies panels that you should lose in order to achieve a 95% solar access. You can download the shade report. Again, like I mentioned, you have the shading losses. Also, the solar access values month on month for each group of panels. And this is a downloadable file from the system. Once you do that and you're happy with the design, you then simulate the entire project. And what system does at this point is calculates what is the overall system size, what is the generation that you're deriving out of this entire project, and what is the offset that this project is doing to the original bills and consumption that we had updated in the previous step. So this is a 91% offset, and I've added some batteries here, and this is a solar plus storage design. So now you can look at various different graphs here that will help you decide if you're happy with this design or not. And these graphs basically tell you, like this one is how much of energy that is getting generated through solar, how much would be discharged through the batteries, and if there is any left deficit, you'd be importing from the grid. So in terms of the number of units and percentage that you can look at. Also, your independence, grid independence graphs at any given time on an average in a month. How independent are you from the grid? So in terms of percentage, you get to look at that. And exactly opposite is how much would you import from the grid at any given time in percentage. Now, all the solar that is getting generated, how much of that is feeding the load? How much would charge the battery? If there is any excess energy that is getting generated during the peak hours, how much would that be? And what is the export in this case? So it's roughly about a 1% export that we're seeing from this project. Also, you look at, you get to look at what is the state of the batteries at any given time on an average in a month, right? So in terms of percentage, you can also adjust the reserve levels as well. Now, batteries can be modeled very accurately in terms of if you want to discharge the energy either through self-consumption or if you want to discharge at a discharge intervals. So let's say you want to discharge the energy from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., you could model that as well. But in this case, I have just discharged it as per the consumption, so self-consumption. And you get to look at, you can pick any day in the calendar or look at a maximum or a medium solar generation day and look at when is the solar going to start at what time in a day and how much of that is going to be generated throughout the day. And then the shade of green tells you when the batteries are going to be fully charged. And then the shade of purple or blue tells you how long is the battery going to last. So up until the next day, around 8 a.m., the batteries would support energy for this particular project, right? And then you look at what are your offsets month on month, how much is your consumption, what is the generation that you're deriving from the project, and if the customer does not install solar, what do they end up spending at the end of 25 years towards the electricity bills? And you can also bake in utility rate escalation as well in the system. Also your bill offset. So how much your bill is going to be reduced month on month. So you can look at all of those graphs as well. Now this is all the design part. You can of course download the DXF file, and I'll tell you how this is going to help with your detailed engineering project. But after you've designed the system, you then dive into pricing and financing of the project. So all the commercials come into play on the next and the final step. So there are three sections. You can bake in your cost profiles. You can download your bill of material. You can also bake in O&M charges for how many ever years and year-on-year escalator can be included. Any incentives or subsidies in different regions, government-led or subsidies that you want to take back in the form of feed-in tariffs or performance-based incentives. All of that can be modeled in the incentive sections. We can also, update, finance products. So you get to look at, how various different products that you would have added in the system are going to play out for the end customer. So you can pick and choose and add this in the final proposal that comes out from the system. So customers get to look at what are their monthly payments, what are, with various different loans that you can model here. Vis-a-vis if it's a capex cash purchase, you can also look at what is the payback period, what is the 25-year savings, and all of this is added in the final proposal document as well. So this is one of the sample documents that I'm showing you, which is basically, and it is completely customizable depending on, how you want to customize these templates. So you have 2D and 3D views. You get to add your system details and how this is going to benefit for the end customer. What is the payback period? What is the IRR? What is the 25-year savings? 3D views, of course, you can add those in proposals, final documents, your month-on-month generation, and all of the graphs that I have shown you can be very easily brought into the final document, which is a customer-ready document and can be sent out, after after the designing and the proposal outcome. And we also bake in 25-year detailed cash flows for the finance options and as well as for the capex cash purchases as well. And these are all auto-generated, so all the hardware that you're using for the project can be very easily brought into the final document. So that is basically on the pre-sales tool. So going back into the presentation. So these are all the features that you've just seen on the pre-sales side. You can model, of course, the battery systems. You can also bake in diesel gensets or off-grid systems. Like I mentioned earlier, you can scale and draw on images as well. So if there is no Google Map location, rather if the property is not available on Google Maps, you can also upload an image, scale on it, and draw on those images as well. All the hardware is completely customizable, and you can export a DXF file, which you can eventually take to the PVCAD application. Now for utility scale projects as well, you can use Enact Plus, and this is a way you can very easily model hundreds of megawatts up to gigawatt layouts in minutes. You can very easily survey any land parcel. We already have topography analysis which has been baked into the application. So it gives you a full evaluation of feasibility of various different projects. You can optimize the layouts and you get multiple different options while you're doing the layout. And you can optimize that basis the different weather files. You can use different terrains, different variables, and you can pick and choose which design works the best for you. So what you see here is the 2D view and the topography analysis, and then you can use different variables to pick the best design that works for that ground-mounted project, depending on different variables as well. So this way, your initial feasibility analysis is completed within the pre-sales Enact Plus design tool. So this is all part of the pre-sales design tools that Enact offers. Now moving to the post-sales detailed engineering tool, which is PVCAD. This is a plugin that comes with AutoCAD, and you can use PVCAD to design and engineer any rooftop or carport or ground mounted designs of any scale. There's no limit to the size of the projects. And you do your topography analysis, you can do your peer schedules. You can start by either the Google Maps location, or you can import a KML file to do your detailed engineering work. So PVCAD will basically help you doing your stringing. You can automatically, string the panels for designs of any scale. You can generate single line diagrams. Very complex single line diagrams are generated with a click of a button. You can, of course, make changes to those diagrams, and that's all system generated. You can use any string length or blocks for fixed tilt or single axis trackers. We have terrain tracking feature as well within the platform. And then finally, you generate your detailed bill of material, which goes as detailed as to the length of wires as well, and the budgets and the final bill of material that comes out from the platform. What you also get with PVCAD is a PVSYST compatible package. So everything that you have done in PVCAD, you don't have to do the layouts. You don't have to do the same work again in PVSYST. If you wish to get a PVSYST generation report, you can simply take the compatible package, which is a bunch of 3 or 4 files, including the shading file, and upload it into PVSYST, and that'll let you generate your PVSYST report as well. So that's all compatible with PVSYST. So this is basically, the detailed engineering tool, and you can do all types of designs, be it rooftop, carport, or ground mount of any scale. And like you're seeing on the screen, we are already integrated with topography analysis and the peer schedules, which you can, of course, generate as well. It gives you seamless iterations. So it lets you, make changes to your designs in terms of the layouts or the auto stringing that the system has generated for you. You can very easily change that to your engineering needs. And like I said, SLDs as well. You can, of course, come back and make changes. All the hardware that you're using, beat modules or inverters, those can be very easily customized and added. So we have an option where you can add your PAN files in the system, and that way your hardware can be very easily added to the PVCAD application here. So with that, so this is where we complete the pre-sales side of the platform. I'll just go back into the slides again. And maybe again, going back to our original first slide. So design and proposals is where you do the pre-sales estimations and generate a customer-ready proposal document, which is a techno-commercial proposal. While detailed engineering is PVCAD, where you generate and do your engineering for ground mount or rooftop designs, including stringing, SLDs, shading report, bill of material, and the PVSYST packages that you can generate. So a lot of features in the platform. You can, of course, take a free trial of the applications and experience it yourself. So that brings me to the end of the segment about the platforms. Maybe we'll dive into the next segment now, which is about key learnings. And I would like to invite Manasij and Navar uh, for the key learnings segment. Hi, Manasij. Hi, Navar.
Hello, thank you for inviting us today to discuss how Enact is actually helping us through our sales cycle in Sharaf DG.
Yes, thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks, Navar, for joining us today. Over to you, Manasij.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Rohit. Very interesting segment earlier. It was good to hear from Rizwan as well about the Sharaf as a company and the scale of operations they are undertaking. So Nawar, I think I'm sure before implementing Enact, could you maybe help us understand what were the biggest challenges your team faced in the solar system design workflows, and how perhaps it has changed today?
Okay, sure. So before using Enact, you might say that we used 3 different platforms to do the generation calculation, the proposal formatting, and also the data storage for the projects. And Enact basically took all of that into one software, one platform that you can actually do the system calculation, create a proposal, create the costing, and then create a proposal within, if you are really trained in it, within a 15 minutes time. So it saved us a lot of time and going back and forth in between platforms as well.
Awesome. Awesome. So you're saying that Enact has certainly helped the engineering sales team to really turn around the turnaround time for solar proposals, because customers are out there looking for proposals, hot leads that you want to close ASAP. So it helps Sharaf to get organized, to get those proposals out of the door and to really close the sales. That's awesome. And I can see that many customers of ours as well have faced problems in terms of multiple systems of record that they need to go through to turn a proposals, and certainly the proposal team helps out that. Maybe could you share us a few details about how does this proposal tool or your pre-sales process perhaps helps you both in terms of technical accuracy and also the customer experience during the solar sales process?
Sure. See, from the technical side, Enact helps us generate the clear system layout, like you have just mentioned, that we have the system design step very clear, very straightforward. You can create a system layout, a system design based on the modules, panels, structure, all the module components that you need. And also you can estimate the system generation based on the calculation done by Enact itself. And also there is the financial projection. Enact creates the ROI, creates also the payback period calculations for the client. So the client, once he get the proposal, he understand what's the system capacity, what's the investment, and at which time he will be actually getting that investment back. And from a customer experience side, all our customers will be having a same exact proposal with the same exact calculation. They all understand what's the system performance. They can see it during the day, during the month, during the year. We can also do the calculation up to 25 years, as you have just mentioned. So basically, the ease of customizing the proposal. We can pick and choose what to be included in our proposal based on our workflow, what's also the standards of our company. And the reliable actually calculation when it comes to solar generation and the yield coming from the system itself, it's also very helpful. It creates more of a trust between us and the clients that the calculations are coming promptly and also accurately. So this is basically the two sides are helping us go forward within Enact.
Awesome. That is great to hear. And I can already see that it leads nicely to my next question, which is, would there be any kind of specific features within Enact that has delivered the most value to your team? Maybe first talking about residential systems and also commercial systems, could you throw some light on which ones has been most enlightening?
Basically, for the residential team, you would want something to be created on quickly and accurately, like I just said. Also, you would need something like Enact, it's user-friendly, the interface itself. You can easily learn it. You can easily join new team members to adapt the software and start using it. So the user-friendly interface is basically the first part that we are reliable on when it comes to using the software itself. And then we have the generation of the software of the proposal itself. Within minutes, you can generate a full proposal that include the entire process. Even the client can actually see the project, how is it coming out. This is the design, this is the costing, and also you can also add some of the graphs, how what's the generation versus the consumption, how the ROI is calculated. We can add the tariffs as per the location, whether it's in Dubai or Abu Dhabi. So that's basically how it's helping us. And the most really advantage regarding Enact is the financial projection, basically. Our team here in the finance team has the ability to modify and upload the items, where based on that we do the costing calculation and hence the financial projection. So basically, these are the main points are helping us do the more of fast and quick turnover regarding the sales process. We can send up to 15 or 20 proposals per day per each and every agent. That's gives us actually a great advantage when it comes to the market. Yeah, that's basically it.
Awesome. No, I think this is a great answer. I think, Nawar, thanks so much for elaborating the process. I think if I could summarize, it could be the speed and accuracy, which you described very nicely. The whole costing approach towards to make sure that the projects are updated in price, but also ensuring that the projects are within the company guidelines. And as well, I think you mentioned about the proposal and ability to customize that in different ways. Charts and graphs is a key part of Sharaf's success there. So happy to, I think, happy that it is, it is helping out Sharaf to scale up business. And I'm sure, we certainly wish the Sharaf team loads of success in the market, and in general wish the team good luck in these times as well, in achieving the success that the team is set out for. Thanks, Narwar. And with that, maybe I'll hand it back to, sorry, was there anything else, Narwar, you wanted to add, or anybody else wanted to add from Sharaf?
No, actually, thank you. Thank you for asking us to explain our practical experience with Enact. Like Mr. Rizwan said, we have been using it for approximately up to 8 or 9 years. Our experience with Enact has gone beyond just using it within our daily process. We rely on it in many steps in our sales operation. It helps us reach the market quickly and promptly and accurately. And when it comes to using only one platform for all your process, you don't need to calculate in one, do the proposal in another, and do your financial in a third one. And also it helps us actually have a really rich database when it comes to our experience across Dubai and the other Emirates as well. When we have a new joiner, he does not need to go to many locations to understand more, only Enact. We have our experience there. They will see definitely many examples of a similar villa or a similar a project that has been done in that area. So also that is very, very helpful to us. We have a rich experience with Enact and a rich database, and we wish that this can continue forward as well. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks. We value the relationship as well with Sharaf. It has been pleasure working for the last 8 years with Sharaf, and more to come, many more to come. But with that, maybe just cognizant of time, I'll hand it back to Rohit to take us through the next segments of this discussion today.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, sure, Manasesh. Thank you, Manasesh. Thank you, Nawar, for this interesting segment. Good to hear the experience from Nawar. So diving straight into the next segment now is the Q&A and the final segment, right? So we're here to answer any questions that anybody has, please feel free to post your questions in the Q&A channel. So I see there's one question already from Mr. Barwa about options for cables in DC and AC cables configuration. So yes, you can do that in PVCAD since PVCAD is a detailed engineering tool. You can, of course, add different cables there, and yes, so that is part of the configuration in PVCAD. While on the pre-sales tool, I would say you can, of course, also add that in your pre-sales tool as a part of your bill of material. And like I had shown you, you can create different profiles, which are your, costing profiles. And you can add your DC cables, your AC cables, as part of your bill of material. The only thing there is that you would have to manually punch in, let's say, number of meters of DC cable that you would need, or number of meters of AC cable that you would need, and then it'll add to your overall cost. Since we're not doing stringing in the pre-sale stage, it's only done after the sale is made and when you're doing the detailed engineering work. So which is why it's part of the PVCAD. But while on the pre-sales tool, you can, of course, add that to your bill of materials. I hope I've answered your question. Any other questions from anyone? Please feel free to drop in your questions. So while we are waiting for more questions, maybe one of the questions that we usually get is, what is the pricing for the system? So let me just take a step ahead and answer that question for everybody. So the Enact design tool is basically, $1,500 US dollars per user per year. That is, the subscription model for the pre-sales design tool. While the PVCAD can be subscribed in two models. Either you opt for the PVCAD plugin, and this is when you already have the AutoCAD license, right? A full version, not the LT. It works with the full version, and you can opt for PVCAD plugin, just the plugin, and that'll be like the I think 3,800 US dollars per license per year. With no limit to the number of projects or the size of projects that you're designing and engineering in PVCAD. You also have monthly options. So the 325 works out for the yearly package. But if you're opting for, let's say, the monthly subscription, that would be around 422 US dollars per month for one license. And the license works per machine. While you can also opt for PVCAD plus AutoCAD license. So this includes the AutoCAD full version license as well. And that's the bundle that we also sell, and that's quite popular actually. And you can just take one license with AutoCAD plus PVCAD. That will, of course, have a higher pricing. So that works out to a 520 US dollars per month. So that's how the applications are priced. Now, depending on which application works best for you, depending on your use case and the help you need on, let's say, on the pre-sale side or the post-sale side, you can subscribe for either of those applications. Maybe back to the Q&As. Do we have more? Okay, I'm hearing from Mr. Barwa. Can you choose desired model of inverter? Yes, absolutely. In both applications, pre-sales and post-sales engineering, you can model your hardware completely customizable. Whatever panels that you're using, whatever inverters that you're using, can be very easily modeled into the system. Okay. Yeah, so the pricing from Walter. So the pricing for PVCAD is what I've just mentioned. So you can choose for just the plugin, or you can bundle it with the AutoCAD license. This has a 7 days free trial as well for the PVCAD application. So if you're interested to start the trial, please write back to us. And we'll share the details with you through an email communication as well after the webinar. And you can start your free 7 day trial. Could be, a PVCAD plus AutoCAD bundle if you don't have an AutoCAD license yet. You can just use the trial license and experience the entire engineering workflow. Okay, in place of data analysis. So the question from Mr. Barwa is, in case of irradiation data analysis, is there option for solar GIS data integration? So I would partially address to that question and maybe request Manasij also to come in for that question. But for solar GIS data integration, which is the Enact Plus, you will have different variables like I mentioned when you're doing the designs, and you can look at various different designs, let's say about 5, 6, 7 odd different designs for different variables, and you can choose from which design works the best. But maybe Manasij, if you can help answer that question.
Yes, I think I would add that in terms of weather inputs, we obviously support a wide variety of weather input files in our detailed engineering plans tools, which helps you to model, these simulate different kind of estimates, and we have different models to estimate as well within the tool itself natively. But we have also seen that a lot of our customers trust the simulation of PVCs, especially as it goes into large-scale ground-mounted projects. So the export to PVCs is quite beneficial, and PVCs has a robust mechanism to collect a lot of GIS information as well. So yes, I think it does. We of course have a capability to import different weather files, but also have you take it over to a tool like PVSys to have more, let's say, quote unquote, for more bankable generation numbers as well. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah.
Back to you, Rohit.
Yes. Yes. And yeah, so like we've mentioned, there are PVSys compatible packages that you get out of AutoCAD, PVCAD, and you can take that very easily to PVSys. Okay. All right. Any other questions from anybody? Please feel free to drop in your questions. We have a few more minutes left. Yes. So I see. Yeah, maybe. So we have, some packages for different regions as well. Yeah, so yeah, we can maybe, discuss on those packages as well. Also, like I said, there's a 7 days free trial. So once you have experienced the platform, there is, of course, some discount that we're offering to the attendees of the webinar and the references, from the webinar. And we'll share those details as well with you through the email communication that will come out after this webinar. But I guess the first step is, to experience the platform. So there's one more question from Mr. Barwa. After simulation in the report, do we get LCOS calculation also in case of hybrid project and standalone BESS projects? Yes, so what we get here is, like I've shown you various different graphs that will help you understand, the battery simulations for, the best projects or hybrid systems. We also get a detailed 8760 file, which is an output file that comes out from the pre-sales tool, which gives you like an hourly projection of the flow of energy, be it the grid consumption to what is the generation to how much charge the battery is going to have, and how much the battery is going to discharge. But yeah, we do also have the calculations for LCOS so that we can bake into your final proposal documents. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, so one of the things that I want to mention is about training and hand holding while you have subscribed for the platforms. We have a CS team who will onboard your account, and be it on any of these applications, you will be hand-holded with any help that you need with adding and customizing your hardware, or let's say the final proposal document that comes out from the application that can be customized as well. And yeah, we'll schedule training sessions to make sure your team is up to speed with the application there. Okay. Lot of questions. Sure. I think we should, we can definitely schedule like a private demo and a meeting with any companies who are willing to see the application in detail and at length, the pre-sales or post-sales. Please feel free to write back to us to the email communication that comes out after this webinar, and we'll be happy to schedule a meeting and show you the application again, and we can take all of the questions that you have. So I guess that is the question that Mr. Barwa is referring to. Is there a lot of questions, and Enact, he finds Enact very helpful, and we'll connect for a detailed discussion. Yes, of course, anybody, please feel free to schedule a session. You will get a Calendly link as well in the meeting, in the email after the meeting, and we can schedule a session for you. Okay. Yeah, we just doing a quick time check. We have 7 more minutes left. Any final questions from anybody, or anything to add from any of the panelists we have on the webinar today? Please feel free to come in. Okay.
Rohit, if I
Hi,
may,
Brian.
I'd just like to add that we have representation now in South Africa. We've got a good few users that are thrilled with the design app in particular, and more recently the PV CAD as well. So just an open invitation there. I think it's new, and we're definitely starting to see some of the traction coming through in South Africa. So I'd be glad to assist wherever I can.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And yeah, you'll get the details for all of us. So whichever region that you're in, please feel free to contact us. Brian is in South Africa. I'm based out of India, and I take care of Middle East, India, Southeast Asia, and Australia, while Brian is there in Africa, South Africa and some countries there. So we'll be able to assist you with anything that you need to get started. Okay. I guess doing a last final check if there are any other questions. 1 second. Yeah, I don't. Okay, so there's one question there. For the pre-sale software, is there any option for floating solar project? Unfortunately, no. Yeah, we don't, model floating solar projects at the moment. But yeah, I think
Although there's probably some workarounds, Rohit, you can do, but not
Yeah.
directly, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be done through workarounds like Manasij mentioned, but not exactly, I think, the solar floating project. Yeah, maybe last words from anybody.
I think this has been very exciting, Rohit, to hear the Sharaf team as well. And thanks so much for all the inputs. I think hopefully everybody can take this opportunity to reach out to Rohit in terms of more questions, and we can certainly get into more details and specific for any particular organization as well. Rohit, I think thanks for hosting this out today.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, Manasesh. Thanks, everybody, for joining in. Special thanks to Sharaf, Rizwan, and Nawar. Thank you for your time and thank you for your feedback. Really appreciate that. And I think last message we have is from Walter. So Walter, yes, we'll share details, yeah, Brian's contact details, and I think you can connect with Brian for next steps. So we'll share those details. I see one more question coming in. Do you only have the hosted system or do you have the on-premise solution? So the pre-sales software is actually a web-based environment. It's not an installation that you have to do on your system. You get your login credentials and you can just log in into the web environment on the pre-sales side. While the post-sales PVCAD application is what you have to install on your machine, and every license is machine specific. While we can, of course, transfer those licenses from one machine to another when, if the designers have left the organization and you want to transfer that to another machine, we can, of course, do that. And that is an installation that happens on the computer, right? So that's the installation of AutoCAD plus PVCAD plugin. That's on the computer, on the machine level. Okay. Any other questions from anyone? Okay, I guess that's all we